All right, welcome back to Build Live. We're here at the Washington State Convention Center. I'm joined by Jay Desto, and where are we right now?
We are in the Startup Gallery. So the Startup Gallery is this really amazing space that we have that's right outside the Microsoft Showcase and Partner Zone, and it gives all these different companies an opportunity to show people what they're up to. So it's really awesome to see startups here and wanting to talk about the Azure story. So one of the companies that I think is really cool that's over here is Crate.io. They're building amazing products, and also there's CodeFresh. And one of the great things about CodeFresh is they're all about Azure. All about Azure, yes. I'm going to actually be doing a really awesome tutorial in New York City with Jessica Dean, superstar at DevOps.
She's amazing.
And we'll be talking about how CodeFresh is implementing their product alongside Azure.
Very cool. And actually, speaking of the startups, we have the Microsoft Create Startups Tour, which is happening right now.
So we just had one recently in New York City.
And also in Toronto.
Yes, I'm a New York City native. It was in my neighborhood, and it was so awesome having you all around.
Yeah, it was great.
And meeting all the people that really believe that they can do really awesome things in this kind of ecoverse with Azure. It's so cool, and just being part of it and seeing people like yourself up there, and you know, Tim and John. It's been really awesome, and of course Seth.
Yeah. So what this tour is, you can go to createstartups.io, and it's basically dedicated for startups of all sizes, teaching you how to scale both from your software side and from your business side. And so we're going to be in a bunch of different cities. I think the next one is going to be in Paris.
Yeah.
And so if it's in one of your cities, you should definitely come check that out.
Yes.
Now, that's actually a good transition, though, right?
Oh, yes.
We've got an event coming up this week, right?
So one of the things that I really believe in my career is not only giving community a place to meet, but helping them tell their stories, and then also being part of giving them good ideas. So there is a great event on Thursday here at Galvanize in Seattle. It's called Bits of Build, and it is a community event that I know you'll be at.
I definitely
I'll
will.
be at. Chloe Condon and a bunch of other, Chris Noring, a bunch of other different members of our advocacy team. We're all coming together, and we want to talk to you about the best ways to really look at your career and the ecoverse that you're working within. Maybe if you want to learn more about diversity in technology, there's going to be talks on that. I've got kind of a funny story where I'm going to talk about recovering from failure.
Yeah.
I had something really awful happen to me at a talk not too long ago, and I thought about it. And you know, it's amazing how we all find ways to recover from failure, whether it's a system breaking or, you know, breaking up in a relationship with another person. It's always amazing how we sometimes don't take that failure recovery as serious as we should. So I'm going to talk to people about that, and I'm going to give you one little hint. I really like The Sopranos, and I got in a huge Sopranos mood when I was making the deck. So there's a bunch of ridiculous Sopranos gifts in it, and I'm kind of proud of it.
I'm proud of that too. I can't wait to see to check that out. And no, but you bring up a good point. I mean, especially since we're kind of in the startups area, you know, it's good to be able to learn from setbacks that might happen, because a lot of things happen, whether it's in your career as a developer, if you're getting started. It's good to know, to learn from those things and to be able to admit it and talk about it. So I'm really glad that you're going to be talking about recovering from failure. That's great.
Some of the biggest lessons that I've learned in technology in my career came from situations that really bad stuff happened. Like I worked at BuzzFeed years ago. We had a dress we talked about it before. Nobody could tell the color, and all these things.
It was blue and black.
Yes, or black and gold, or whatever your eyes seem to have known. Those cones in there. But what was really interesting is that one of the biggest moments of failure, if you will, taught me so much about scale, and those are the things I really want to talk to people about. And speaking of scale,
yes,
because we're at a giant scale. It's amazing how big a scale this event is, and how much we're doing things for developers. If you haven't had a chance, around the floor, we've got some really amazing booths for all these different types of languages. So Golang, there's a booth.
Yeah.
There's a booth for Python. There's a booth for JavaScript and TypeScript. It's just so cool to see that these communities, because you have to remember, community drives this language adoption.
Yes.
So to see these communities really have a place that says, we're here for you and we're going to talk about how we're doing this on Azure, to me, it's really awesome to see.
So there's been a lot of stuff. This is just day one of Microsoft Build. We have 2 more days of content, but what have you seen so far that's really impressed you?
So the things that really impressed me, I mean, the keynote this morning where I saw all that AR stuff built into Teams, I was like, wow, did Teams become The Sims? I mean, it was so
Totally.
It was so amazing to be able to see someone have a meeting and say, you know what, let's take the items and let's put them here, and we can, virtually modify or look or change. And to me, I think that that's going to improve how, teams of developers or designers or businesses in general are able to build and not only build, but also collaborate on how they build.
Yeah, well, and I think it works. I mean, Teams is great. You mentioned that. I think whether you are in the same office or if you're like our team, which is remote, it's really good because, the remote work is kind of having a moment right now. And there's been a lot of resurgence of people wanting to work from different places and not have to be based where the company might be based. Or maybe you have lots of different offices. And so I think the more we can do to help that collaboration feel like you're in the same place, whether, you're in New York, I'm in Seattle, but yet using different collaborative tools, we can feel closer together.
Yes, the future of work is at home. And that's what I really believe. Like, while we all know that there are wonderful offices to spend time together, and I know that's important for many companies, there are people who don't necessarily have the ability to go out to these major cities.
Yeah.
Maybe you live in a smaller city and you're comfortable there and you want to work. And that's the great thing about programs like Teams and methods to communicate. We've given a little bit of an edge to the remote worker now. It used to be the remote worker was kind of left in the background, but nowadays with all these products, you're right in the front with everyone else.
Speaking of Edge, that's a good segue. What do you think of the new Microsoft Edge that's been in preview? Based on Chromium?
I'm an iPhone user, and so to have a browser experience between my Mac, my phone, and anything else I use with Edge is just going to be really important to me. It's great to have a choice.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at the cloud. The cloud in general, you have choices, and it's up to you as the developer or the engineer or the business decision maker to make the right choice. And sometimes those choices come from different companies, and we happen to be the old choice coming back and making it new again. And I think that's amazing. You think about, what has it been, like 20 years of experience producing browsers. So the fact that they're going to go ahead. 25, yeah. So the fact that Microsoft is taking all this existing knowledge of what was wrong with old versions of browsers, things that didn't work right, and say, you know what, let's take Chromium, let's build this, and let's build from the ground up and make it the kind of browser that we feel our users want. And to me, I think that's important. I'm not going to lie. I was a Linux user for a really long time. And as a Linux user, you don't necessarily, you weren't always up to speed what was going on with Windows.
Right.
But now as not only that I work in Microsoft, but just what Microsoft has done with the technologies to implement both Linux as a part, like the fact that WSL, they announced today that you're going to get a full real Linux kernel.
Oh, I love this. I was going to say, if you told 17-year-old Christina that Windows was going to be shipping with a Linux kernel, I would have laughed. But new Microsoft, baby.
Yeah, the new Microsoft is all about making it easier for you. It's not about, what products do we throw your way? No. What products are going to be right for our users? And we keep building them and improving them. And I think one of the best parts is just being a part of this.
Yeah.
And so, if you're looking for a job, this is a really cool place to work. I'm just going to say that. But yeah, being part of Microsoft and seeing the growth has been just amazing. And not only that, but being around people like yourself, I feel so lucky. people like you and everyone else at the Microsoft, we've all come together, and we just want to make the people on the other side of this camera and all over the room make it work.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you, Jay, for talking to me. And if you're interested in coming to our Community Day event here in Seattle on Thursday, bitsofbill.splashthat.com.
Yep, bitsofbill.splashthat.com. We'll see you.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.